All right. We're live. We're live. Literally, well, not literally live, but we are as close to live as we're going to get. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Coach Javi. As you may know, if you watched this before, I'm joined by my co-hosts. First of all, we got Georgie Porgy Grinders, the Liverpool supporter.
Yep.
Chelsea hater, Arsenal hater, Manchester City hater,
I don't hate
Premier League
anybody
hater.
else. You know what it is? I don't hate anybody else. I just call everybody out.
He just calls everybody out except
for Liverpool.
Except for Liverpool. And I also have next to me Joe. Oh, sorry, that's not Joe. This is my boy Thomas. As you guys know, he's been in some of the more recent episodes, trying to weasel his way in. How does it feel, Thomas?
It's still pretty tight. Need to grease it up a little bit more.
How does it feel that you have officially taken
I'm Joe.
Joe's position on the
Joe.
podcast?
Call me Joe.
We're gonna call it. So how are the stats?
So we have no stats today, just like last week. But we are on episode 45, close to 50.
All right, 45? No, we're not. 44. Come on, Thomas. You have one job, man. One job. We are on episode 44, I believe. I might be wrong.
I'm the stats guy.
Yeah, well, I'll double check. But we're on episode 44. And the reason why Joe is not here is Joe got a little upset with us. I'm not gonna lie. We don't hide stuff around here.
With you, not me. I'm not part of any of this. I'm literally just in the group chats for no reason. Like, you guys can just like text me the time and I'll be here.
Me too.
All right. Well, Joe's upset at me because he couldn't make. We were supposed to record the podcast yesterday. He couldn't make it, so he texted us early in the morning and said, "I'm not going to be there tonight. You guys can record without me, or we can record tomorrow." In my head, I just assumed that he would know, kinda, that we would just record it tomorrow. But we have recorded it without him before, though. So I could see why he wasn't sure what we were going to do.
So are you apologizing or not? Are you going to take accountability?
So basically, this is what happened. So then I texted him this morning, and I was like, Joe, podcast tonight. And he got upset because he drives close to here, close to my house for work. And then after work, he just comes here. So he doesn't have to go all the way back to his house, which is in the other direction.
Where does he live?
He lives in Livonia.
Oh. Wow.
So I messed his schedule up because he didn't think that we never texted him back until this morning. So I messed his schedule up. He was already at work. I'm assuming this is what happened though. He was at work, and then when I texted him, he's like, "Crap, I didn't bring any of my stuff or whatever." Or something messed up his plans that he has to go all the way back and then come here. So he was just like, I'm out for today.
It was a hot date with Taylor. There's nothing.
Cut. I can't cut this when we're doing live. Thomas, killing me. You're gonna get Joe in trouble. Joe had nothing to do with this, by the way. Joe has nothing to do with this. So that's the reason. Now, as you guys can see, here's the problem. So we're trying a new method. We're trying a new method right now. The new method is I am actually cutting the podcast live, because what typically happens is we record through the memory cards in the cameras, so it looks really, really nice. And then afterwards, I upload it all into the computer, and then I go back and I manually edit the podcast like I'm doing right now, where if I want to switch to Georgie, I do it in the computer. If I want to switch to Thomas or Joe, I switch to him. And so I figured out a way to do it, but the last time I tried this, the quality wasn't great. So we'll see if the quality is good. If the quality is good, this is going to save me hours. I don't have to be up until 4 a.m, because this is recording straight into a card or straight into a hard drive, which will allow us to go straight into YouTube after. The only thing I have to remember is that I'm doing the cuts live. So if Georgie starts talking, I got to make sure I'm on top of it, because otherwise Georgie's face is just going to be on screen while somebody else is talking for 30 seconds.
Just happened right there.
That was it.
So we'll see how it goes, but I'll get better at it. The editing process is super fast now, though. When I do edit, it literally takes me, if we do a podcast for an hour and a half, it takes me about 15 to 20 minutes to go through, because I just fast forward it and I'm just, boom, cutting left and right, slicing and dicing.
So
anyway,
that's why it looks like crap every time I watch
probably,
it.
That's why
I'm
it's always
talking
delayed.
and then it's you on there. No.
That's why it's delayed. But the unfortunate part about today is that I am back. I am back as the host. The last time we did it, Joe was the host, and Thomas. Put your hand down, Thomas. You're not volunteering to be the host today.
Damn.
We got the. Let me go through the pre-cap for today. Before we actually get into the pre-cap, So so typically we do the pre-cap first. Today we're gonna, before we get into pre-cap, we're gonna answer some subscriber questions right away because I think it's important not to keep the people waiting. What do you think, Georgie?
I love it. I don't know these questions, so it's gonna be.
Well, they were
Very-
posted on our page.
What
if
page?
you would have, well, on our YouTube. They
Oh.
posted this is my boy Eddie, our only subscriber that we have so far. Eddie has been watching our podcast. He was close to boycotting our podcast because all we talked about was Liverpool and Arsenal. But I told him we wanted to diversify a little bit more. So, are you guys ready for the first questions?
Yes.
Okay. First question. Who do you take right now for your current club? Darwin or Vinny Jr.?
Darwin, are you kidding me? It's not even
Spotlight
close.
on Georgia.
Darwin, it's not even close. Come on, just keep it moving.
It's not close.
It's not close. Well, first of all, you need to think about which position. If you're talking about a striker, I'm not gonna take Vinny. No, he could play as a striker, obviously, but he usually stays very, very out wide for Real Madrid all games, every single time. And that was actually when we watched Real Madrid last time. That was a problem that we talked about, how Vinny stays all the way wide, and then Jude plays the 9, and it didn't really work out that game. However, Vinny's a great player, but Darwin there's levels to this, man. There's
Dang. Georgie
levels
just
to
said
this.
Georgie just said that there's levels to this when he compared Vinny Jr. to Darwin Nunez. As
Correct.
in Darwin Nunez is levels ahead of Vinny Jr.
Okay, before Thomas,
Thomas is raising his
So-
hand like if you have to
I'm
raise your hand
ready.
to talk.
but before he answers that, you need to give me the same position. Like you can't. One is a left wing, which Darwin could play in the left wing.
Yeah, but attacking players.
I guess.
And Darwin Nunez has played in the wing before
Yes,
multiple times.
last year. Yes, last year. Yeah. But still, you ask me right now, I'll take Darwin. Darwin, okay. This is not gonna be a Darwin thing. However, do you know Holland has 35 goal contributions this season? Guess how many Darwin has? 30. That's literally world class. That is world class. So it's not that crazy that you're telling me I'm picking Darwin over Vinny.
What's this?
Well, I wonder how many
30
Vinicius has.
Contributions?
like goal or assist.
I wonder how many Vinicius has.
I-
You'd bring that fact, did you?
No, because
you
I don't
didn't.
need. I don't.
Exactly.
Do you? I'll look it up right now.
That's what this is
Anyway.
for.
Thomas, who do you take?
I would probably take Vinicius, but that being said, on the whole Darwin thing, it's because, and this is what Rue said earlier, where it's like a backward or a slight-handed comment. It's like we're just now getting to see Darwin at his best. I think we haven't got to see that yet. He's now in stride, and it looks great week in, week out, in my opinion. But we haven't really gotten there up until this point. So it's like maybe in 2 weeks, I'd change my mind.
Interesting. I, as an Arsenal fan, would take Vinicius Jr. because that man is dangerous.
Dangerous.
He's so good.
So good. And he's proven.
And he's what?
He's proven.
Yeah,
He
of
didn't need to
21.
take time to settle in.
21 goal contributions for Vinicius Jr. All right. I believe you, Georgie, but somebody's got to fact check you somewhere in the comments. I'm sure somebody will
okay.
do their research because you don't do your research. You probably looked at like
La
page
Liga
7
and
page
Champions
7 on
League.
Google, page 7 on Google that had
La
that stat.
Liga and Champions League, and then Copa del Rey, whatever. But
All right. Next one. Mbappe or Darwin?
why is Darwin? Why is that?
Eddie posted these. So
Eddie, of course.
Eddie
Listen,
posted these.
okay, I'm gonna talk to the camera here.
So he actually does want to see or hear about Liverpool.
Eddie, or anybody else. Darwin over anybody. For Liverpool. Darwin over anybody. Darwin is.
Eddie did say you would say something like this.
Listen, Darwin is a pure Liverpool player. Is Mbappe one of the best players in the world? Yes. Would Mbappe work at Liverpool? I don't think so. Darwin fits perfectly because of everything else he does besides the goals and assists. Mbappe, that was the problem at PSG. They don't defend, the ego and all those things. There's something different when it comes to about Darwin. We were up 9-1 on aggregate. The guy is sprinting back, like in the Europa League, sprinting back 70 yards to make a tackle on their striker. That's the difference. Like, obviously Mbappe is one of the best. However, when it comes to Liverpool and the system that we play under Jurgen Klopp, Darwin over anybody.
All right. Well, you're very biased because he's already playing for Liverpool. If Darwin Nunez wasn't a Liverpool player, you wouldn't be saying the same things about him. Of
Well,
course, he's a Liverpool player.
what do you want me to do? He's playing for Liverpool. He's
I
playing
know,
great.
but you're saying he's a Liverpool player. Well, no shit.
No, like he fits the style. Like it's like
Crap, I forgot to switch.
but like he fits the style. Like if Mbappe comes to Liverpool and he scores, like for example, that's where I talked about Haaland, right? You asked me who I would have at Liverpool. Haaland, the way he's playing at Man City, or Darwin, the way he's playing at Liverpool. Haaland at Liverpool might score goals,
All
but
right,
he's
listen, we're not talking Holland.
no,
Nunez
but
right
no,
now,
but
right?
that's what I'm talking about though.
Yeah, I know. You're
Because
playing style.
Yeah, the style and everything he brings besides the goals and assists. That's what Liverpool fans love about him. That's what I loved him last year when he wasn't producing the goals and assists. What was my main reason for all this? Because he does everything else.
All right, but still, so the question is Mbappe or Darwin?
Darwin.
Okay.
Here,
All right.
Darwin.
All right, Thomas.
Mbappe. I'm not even like for West Ham for my team.
Well, yeah.
Like I would take Mbappe in a heartbeat. Darwin doesn't do enough. We need a striker, but it's like if we had Mbappe, we wouldn't need a striker.
I'm gonna go Mbappe.
So you would take. Who would you take out?
Suchek, too easy.
What Suchek plays
There-
like the center mid.
Not recently. He's wherever Moyes wants to put him.
Oh,
Here we go. Here we go. Let's move on before we get onto Moyes' argument. I do think Vinicius and Mbappe are very similar players,
I do too.
and I would choose both of them over Nunez in terms of effectiveness. I know now Nunez has been more of a central striker, so it's a little bit different. But I would still take both of those guys.
Okay, let me ask you this: Salah or any of those guys?
I would take. I think Mbappe over Salah, and I think it's much closer with Salah and Vinicius.
Why is that?
I don't know, because Mbappe's won one World Cup. He's almost won 2 World Cups. He's like, you know what you're gonna get out of Mbappe almost every single game.
You don't know what you're to get out of Salah.
Yeah.
would-
No, Salah's a little bit more.
You know what Salah is? He's been a 7-season, 1-season wonder. Everybody, first season, over 20 goals, 1-season wonder. The guy has 7 seasons in a row now.
I would take
It's-
all 3 of them over Mo Salah. I would take
You take
Vinny,
Darwin
I
over?
would take Darwin over him. I'd take Vinny
Wow.
over him. I'd take Mbappe over him.
No respect for Salah.
Over Salah, I would take. So if I had to rank them, I would say Mbappe, then Vinicius and Salah would be very close. So I don't even know if I could. It would be a coin toss, and then Nunez after that.
Okay. Okay, that's the thing, though. How can you say Vinny, I don't know how many goals. I mean, I didn't check. Let's say he has like 15 goals in La Liga a season.
Currently
I
at
don't know.
18.
Like he has 18 right now?
Yeah, currently.
Let's say he has 18 right now. Salah gets 30, close to 30 a season in the Premier League, I'd say. You would still pick
2 different leagues, though.
2 different leagues, but I mean, Premier League is a lot tougher if you were to talk
I think
about.
it's just a lot closer. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, let's move on because we're gonna be here forever. Here's a question without Nunez in it: Vinny Jr. or Mbappe? Thomas,
Mbappe. Yeah, Mbappe.
agreed. Mbappe, Georgie.
That's a tough one.
You know, actually, can I go back?
Yeah, go ahead.
He's like, oh, can I go back?
Yeah.
Raise your hand before you talk, though,
Coach-
Thomas. Just so
Coach Javi,
Go ahead.
Can I talk? I think actually I would take Vinny, and the reason being is because of Paqueta and Emerson. I think that could be fun to watch.
well, not when it's
You're talking
Carnival.
about my team though.
Not when it's Carnival.
Yeah, except in
Paqueta's gone.
February.
All right, here's a good one. Eddie posted this: Darwin or Kane? Ah, now you're thinking because
Oh,
you
I'm
know.
not. No.
Oh my word! Here we go.
That one.
You're not even going to consider Harry Kane. Harry Kane is not just. Harry Kane is probably
He'll be
the best of
he would
Haaland
fit.
and the best of Nunez. Kind of in the middle. He's kind of in the middle.
Harry Kane would fit Liverpool to a T, in terms of the false 9. When Liverpool played with a false 9, when Babi was there, that
but still, you take Darwin Nunez over Harry Kane.
yes, that one over
Why?
anybody. Why? I
Yeah.
told you why.
But we weren't comparing him to Harry Kane.
Yeah,
Now we're
no, but
comparing him to Harry Kane.
yeah, but like same reasons of like
Interesting.
what he does off. I told you
Uh,
Darwin over anyone.
I think Harry Kane would be the perfect Liverpool striker. I think he'd fit a lot of teams because he does a lot of what you want a striker to do. And he's effective. He scores goals, but he can turn into a player who can assist. Like you said, drop in, create for players who can run off the ball. So if you think about it, Harry Kane could check in, be able to collect the ball, and play through to players like Salah who could finish. But then he could still be the one who's in the top of the box that you pass the ball to, and then he scores it from inside the box.
But he's having such a great time in Germany.
I would take, well, I don't know about that. He's having a great time individually, but he's not having a great time as a team. I would take Harry Kane over any of the strikers that we have at Arsenal, any of the center forwards that we have at Arsenal.
Well, that's
I mean, we have,
you've talked about how. Well,
but I would take
wait.
take Harry Kane over any forward player at Arsenal.
Saka.
Is Martinez considered a forward there?
Yeah, Martinez.
Or
Martinelli.
Yeah.
Martinelli.
Martinelli, whatever.
Yeah, I would take
that's how much I
Harry
like the
Kane.
guy.
I would take
Big
Harry
fan of-
Kane over Martinelli, 1-for-1. Harry Kane over Martinelli, or Harry Kane over Saka, Harry Kane over Trossard, Harry Kane over Gabriel Jesus, Harry Kane over Kai Havertz. I would take Harry. The only player I would not, well, completely different position, but the only player I would not take Harry Kane over at Arsenal.
Rice.
Declan Rice.
Well, there's a couple actually. Declan Rice, obviously, because
Odegaard.
positions are completely. Odegaard. He's the only
And
close.
Odegaard,
He's
yeah.
the only close one in the attacking positions that I would not take Harry Kane over. But again, that's a completely different position. I'm getting further out. Any of our attacking players, wingers, or center forwards, I would take Harry Kane. Perfect. Fits a lot of teams.
No loyalty, man. No loyalty.
What do
to
you
your
mean no
team.
loyalty?
You take Saka. Oh, you take Kane over Saka.
Yeah,
But there's just, I mean, those two are just different players. It's so hard to
yeah,
like,
of course. Center
yeah.
forward, winger.
like if you're talking about Gabriel Jesus or Kane, yeah, like it wouldn't be.
All right, let's move on. Precap done.
Eddie just wanted to see me suffer through the Darwin questions, but I didn't suffer.
He knew you what you were gonna do. He knew
Yeah,
exactly
of
who you were gonna
course.
choose. I just think he wanted to confirm it. Is
Yeah.
all. All right, so let's move into the precap then. The precap for today, a couple things. Conspiracy theories, not just a conspiracy theory segment. Conspiracy theories confirmed. We think we're getting very close to being able to legally prove that something is going on here. Nottingham Forest has been docked 4 points for charges worse than Everton, yet less of a point deduction than Everton. We have the Champions League draw, which happened recently, so we're getting set up for the quarterfinals of the Champions League with some interesting matchups. And then some Premier League predictions because the next week is going to be a very important one for the overall table. Then we got the VAR room segment, which we'll talk about a couple different things, and then we'll finish it off with fun facts because Coach Javi loves a good fun fact.
You do love a fun fact.
All right, so let's start with the conspiracy theories. Georgie, I'm gonna leave it to you because you have been working on this conspiracy theory like an FBI agent on a case for decades. You are essentially the guy on Unsolved Mysteries who eventually cracks the case 20 years down the road. So give us the what's going on.
Well, another day, another Manchester City player dropping out. Haaland limps out of Norway training session, can barely walk. Probably gonna not play in those two friendlies.
So hold on, tell us what the conspiracy theory is though before you tell us about individual players.
Conspiracy theory is that Man City, when there's an international break, Manchester City have a big game coming up. November 24th of last year against Liverpool, international break. Now, international break against Arsenal, which is pretty weird. The biggest games, that's another conspiracy theory. Biggest games are coming up for Man City against the best teams, and they have a 2-week window to start preparing because their players just drop out of international duty randomly. It's not like they played in a game and the guy's like limping off or get subbed out, or like you can like it's not a visible injury to where you can be like, oh, that's fair. It's more like Liverpool play Man City 4 days after that, KDB comes out and says he has groin problems and he can't play anymore, and now he's out of the Belgium squad. Or like against Liverpool a few months ago, Rodri, foot injury, drops out of the squad. Haaland limps off of Norway training session once again. That's back to back. Haaland can't walk in Norway's training sessions. Anyway, dropping out. So now so far we have from Man City, KDB's out, like 100% of the squad from Belgium. And we have Haaland, who dropped out of training today, which we're probably not going to be able to see him play for Norway this week. And I'm sure there's going to be one or two more that's going to keep on slowly.
But the thing is, though, typically it's Manchester City who's doing this.
Yeah.
They did for the Liverpool game. However, now we're starting to see even Arsenal is trying to play the same game, huh? Because they had, was it Gabriel?
Yeah, yesterday,
Gabriel.
right? They just announced out of nowhere.
They announced he's him and who else? There was one more, I thought, on Arsenal.
Thomas Partey, but that's a bit different because he's been.
Yeah, so they were a little bit more straight up with that one because they said he wants to just regain full fitness
Yeah.
ahead of the important matches. But
And he's been out for a while, so that's understandable. Like, if you're a player where like you're just coming back from an injury and like you're like 50-50 of like, oh, I might not be able to go or whatever, that's different than.
so
What?
do you think any of these players have any legitimate injuries, or they're straight up healthy? They're straight up healthy and they're just finding ways to make sure that they don't get injured during the international break. Like, do you really think Haaland limped off of training or whatever they said? And same thing with Gabriel, that he has like, or do you think they're just like, no, we got to play it safe?
I think they're getting a club loyalty bonus. So for not
Mm.
going to international, the club's
Little
giving
money
them,
under the table,
yeah,
huh?
little cash.
That's interesting.
Conspiracy
Which is
theory.
fine. That's got to be a breach of some sort of rules. You can't
Yeah,
do
but
that.
they're not going to get charged with anything. Who's going to charge them?
Do you really think they gave him money for that? Because now this is turning into a serious conspiracy here, Thomas. You're saying that there is some serious bribery going on here. If that's the right word.
I'm saying it wouldn't be hard. They could get away with it. Start like a little.
You don't think it was just a conversation between Arteta and his players, like, hey, we really need you. You should probably think about it.
No, I think pride would get in the way, especially for like Holland and Norway. Like, I mean, what else are they going to look forward to other than seeing him play at the national stage?
Yeah, could be. I also think the fact that it's an international break that's not really important makes it so much easier.
Sure.
So if it was like World Cup qualifiers and you have to get points to qualify, especially for like a team like Norway, then I think you're probably not going to get as many injuries because they're going to want to play. But because it's just essentially friendlies, it's easy for them to make that decision because the risk of them getting injured probably is pretty high. All right.
Just it's been proven.
So it's confirmed. Georgie has enough evidence here to take Manchester City and now Arsenal to court, because this does affect Liverpool. However, let me ask you this question, Georgie: does the fact that Arsenal is playing this game make it better for you as a Liverpool fan, or does it not matter?
What do you mean make it better?
Like, what I'm saying is that you'd be really upset if Manchester City is the only one doing it, and then Arsenal's not doing it. Do you prefer that both teams are at full strength rather than just one team doing it? Or would you rather Manchester City just beat Arsenal?
Well,
What do you prefer?
I would prefer Man City to beat Arsenal because then it becomes up to Liverpool to win the rest of the games and then
Okay.
you're set. However, City are frauds, so it's about time that somebody starts playing their game and does something similar. So if you're gonna do it, you can't like complain about anybody else doing it. So like, I'm good with it just because one is gonna be a good game regardless, and now both teams are like taking key players here and there out of, I don't know, City of frauds.
And Arteta was studying under Pep, so he probably knows that this is what he's doing.
Yeah.
So he's just trying to play the same game, which is interesting.
Mind games,
Very
man.
interesting.
Mind games.
Thomas, your thoughts on this?
Well, I think that.
Do you think George is crazy or?
I think no. I like it. I like where this is going. To be honest, I'm all about it. But I do think that there's something else going on where Liverpool is going to end up getting a couple ties, and we're going to see a tight race between the three of them, regardless. Arsenal will drop points. I don't know where. I mean, you guys still have to play us, late April. So, and I think we have City as well at the very end. So it's like, those are two very hard games, unfortunately, for you guys.
So let's get into the predictions while we're on the topic of Manchester City versus Arsenal. That's the big game. That's the big game. You guys, who do you guys play? You guys play.
We play Brighton at home.
All right, so that's actually not. Brighton hasn't been doing great as good as they were at the beginning, though.
Yeah.
So Brighton, it's one of those matches that you have to win if you want a chance at the title anyway, right? That's like you are looking at 3 points that you have to get.
Right.
The big game is going to be Manchester City versus Arsenal because that's going to decide a lot. Like for example, if Arsenal beats Manchester City, do you think Arsenal goes and wins the whole thing, or do you think it just becomes a two team?
Yeah, because you guys are tied on games played, right?
We're all even now, I think, and Arsenal's just 1 point ahead of everyone.
No, Liverpool Arsenal's 64, Man City 63.
So, yeah, but you guys are the same on games played.
Yeah.
So if Arsenal wins, do they go on and win it all? I think so. It's like I said, you guys still have to play West Ham. It's rough over there.
All right, who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Arsenal. So we're playing at the Etihad, playing away at Manchester City. Very difficult game. It's hard enough to beat them at home, or to try and get some sort of a result at home. Who wins?
Draw, 2-2.
No way.
What do you think, Thomas?
I go 3-1 to the bad guys. Man City pulls it off.
I think this is our best chance of beating Manchester City. In all of the years past, this is our best chance of beating them. I'm actually quite confident that we could pull it off. And even last year when we were flying, I was still like, nah, anytime we play against Manchester City, it's not going to go well for us.
And then you bottled the league.
And then we bottled the league. But this time, I have a feeling Arsenal are going to pull off a massive upset on a couple of counterattacks against Manchester City. Manchester City will dominate possession. Arsenal will manage to win the ball. Quick counterattack. Next thing you know, we're going to be up early. That's what I think.
Where's the upset? You guys are top of the table.
Yeah, but it's definitely always an upset when you're playing at Manchester City.
It's difficult. It's not an upset. You can't say it's
absolutely an upset. Absolutely.
It would be an upset if we walked in and just beat up on Man City. That would be an upset.
It'd be an upset if you guys beat up on anybody. But I really do think we're only 1 point ahead of Manchester City. And you can never count them out. That's the one team that you know that they're always going to perform.
They score goals.
Yeah. Liverpool gave you the blueprint last week. I know watching that. Well, you didn't watch that game, did you? But if you watch that game, if you're an Arsenal player, staff, supporter, whatever, that game gave you confidence of City not being the City that we know. And Liverpool completely dominated that game. So when you watch that game as an Arsenal, you're thinking Arsenal have the mobility and athleticism to where they can run Man City to the ground, and Man City are gonna look tired and all that stuff. So, like I think if you let Man City dominate in possession, that would be your best bet, like you said, on the counter, because nobody can catch up with Saka, Martinelli, or
Trossard.
Not so much Trossard, 'cause I don't know if he's that.
But I think Trossard on the counterattack is going to be one of the more dangerous players, actually.
Yeah.
I think that's dangerous, but I also think that Arsenal on the ball, if they're holding the ball, I think they're going to wear themselves out. I don't think that I think they need to pass the ball. They could absolutely destroy Man City if they just passed the ball and played it into the spaces and stuff like that, instead of like trying to take people on and do like the Martinelli type of things that they like to do.
I think our best bet is be okay with letting them have possession.
Sure.
Waiting for the right time, counterattack. Now, that doesn't mean parking the bus. I don't think we need to park the bus either. So I don't think we need to sit in our own half or in our own third. But I do think that we shouldn't go in high press. And then we just wait until they get to half, start applying a little bit of pressure. Eventually, they're going to be in the wrong spaces. We take advantage.
You know what we call that in East London?
What do you call that?
The West Ham way.
We'll take a page out of David Moyes' playbook then.
Let's relax. We've been doing it long before him.
We'll get into the West Ham talk, Thomas. Don't worry. We're going to get into the West Ham talk because I am very disappointed at Thomas. Actually, let's talk about it right now.
What? Why are you disappointed?
We're here.
Me?
We're here already. We're in the Premier League segment. Thomas said something the other day that I called him out for in the group chat. He said David Moyes has messed up the one thing that he's done right with West Ham. And what was? I don't even know what it was. What was it, Thomas?
So what had happened was it was that he played Edson Alvarez up top with Mikel Antonio. Played Lucas Paqueta where he belonged. Played James Ward-Prowse, unfortunately on the bench that game. But he had all the pieces. He used all the pieces that he had. Krezers came off the bench. Emerson was nursing a knock or something like that. And then all of a sudden, we played fantastic. And then we go into the weekend, and he's switching our center mid with the outside, pulling Ben Johnson off the bench, putting him in. Antonio's a lone striker.
He hates Ben Johnson.
Yeah, he's on my hit list. I don't have a hit list. And he was just, he's messing with things that, like, you saw how it worked. And it worked against a very strong European team. And then you go into the weekend and you're playing, I don't even remember who we played at this point.
So what you're saying is that
1-1
David
though?
Moyes has only, all I got out of that, by the way, was that David Moyes has only done one thing right.
Yeah, we had Villa, that's right.
You guys are sitting in 8th place.
We should have walked away with 3 points on the
You guys
weekend.
are 7th place. Sorry, I'm wrong.
And they just play Aston Villa, who are 4th.
And
we
this is all you
drew.
see. This is all you see. You are blinded by rage, Thomas.
I am.
You're blinded by this rage against David
Yeah.
Moyes.
He can't even argue. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah. That's how it is.
All right, well, when David Moyes gets you guys into the Champions League, and then you're still calling for it,
relax.
listen, we're gonna have to kick you out of the podcast. There's gonna have to be a certain like limit that we're gonna have to accept your judgment of David Moyes before we just kick you out of the podcast.
That's fair.
It might even be Europa League, to be honest. If they get to the Europa League, I think
it's 5th place now against Champions League in England.
Well, also
So what does that mean? 6th and 7th get Europa League, or still only
we're
one?
in Europa. We're in Europa right now.
No, you're in Europa League now because you won last year.
Yeah. So it's like, that's not fair. Don't judge me on what we did in the past.
All right,
Yeah,
fair
but-
enough. Champions League.
But you're still there now.
That's the expectation,
in the
though,
quarterfinals against one of the best teams in the world right now.
against the best team in the world. Let's be honest.
Leverkusen.
Yeah.
How do you think that one's gonna go? By the way.
It's so here's the thing, right? I think because they are so tactically sound, they are so versatile. They are. It's one of the funnest teams to watch. You guys have said it. We all agree. Anybody that knows anything agrees. We are either going to win 3-0.
Hold on, where'd you come up with that one? Because I don't see how that's.
It doesn't matter what
I
the
don't see
number
how-
is.
all right.
We're either gonna win pretty comfortably, where it's like we just get goals and then we sit in the rest of the time. And I'm like 3 quick goals, like first 20 minutes, first 25 minutes, and then we just sit in because they haven't figured out, like they're in like no man's land, right? Or we get.
You just said the most tactically sound team is gonna be, and then you said 3 seconds later in no man's land.
yeah. Well, just hear me out.
This man.
Or we lose 5-1, 6-1, and that's because we catch
What,
them
in
on a
2
counter.
games or just the first game?
This is just first game. I want to see how that one plays out.
So you're saying there's a chance for you guys to win?
So you're saying there's a chance.
So you're gonna be the first team in 38 matches that's gonna beat
yeah.
Leverkusen, and not just beat them.
I saw
You're
that.
gonna
I
beat
saw
them
that come
3-0.
across,
You're gonna
and
beat
it was
them
like
3-0.
www. I was just like,
I actually think
first L, baby.
if you look at their scores, their recent scores, they don't smash teams.
No, I don't need.
They
to.
win if you look at the score, it looks like they barely win. Now most of the games they actually go up by like 1 or 2 goals, and then the team scores like late, and so they end up winning 3-2 or something like that. But they're not smashing teams. So I actually think that it's going to be a close game with Leverkusen. I don't think they'll win both games because I think they might draw you guys at home. I even think there might be a chance that they lose, but I think they'll still beat you guys. They'll still progress.
Yeah, I'm not denying. I'm not even thinking about the second game. You know, we're gonna take this one week at a time. You know.
I watched Leverkusen against Quarterback both games.
Mm-hmm.
They did not play well, but somehow, some way, they found a way to end.
Europe's different. Leverkusen hasn't been there in a while. They're not used to that. This is a whole new thing for them. You know,
It's also
we've
their-
got this.
I think their style of play benefits them when they play against like really, really good teams. But every once in a while, especially when you're playing against teams that aren't typically in your league, like Karabakh, you're going to face like some awkward matches. Like both of those games, they scored in like the 96th minute to finally win the game. But if Karabakh literally holds on for just a little bit longer, they win that. They win both of those games. So,
and they got a red card in the second game.
Yeah, they
And
got a
that's
red
what-
card in
and
like
they
the
scored-
60-something
They
minute.
scored their second goal in the second game with a man down, and then they started literally just park the bus, and you obviously when you do that.
Could West Ham be Leverkusen's kryptonite?
I mean, so I think so.
Well, no
It'll
shit,
be
you think so. You're a West Ham fan, Thomas.
Come
Wait,
on.
wait. So
Last
For-
3 years, just talk about
for every time you're in the podcast so
it.
far, you said Moyes out,
Moyes out.
but somehow, some way, you're saying that West Ham are going to beat Leverkusen with Moyes as your manager.
Yeah.
So if you beat Leverkusen, who have the best manager in the world right now,
Yeah.
and they're
Go on, Georgie.
there's 38 games or however many games they haven't lost, and it's David Moyes who
The
comes-
tactical genius.
the tactical genius that beats Leverkusen. You're still gonna be Moyes out.
Listen, I don't remember, so I might have to go back and listen to the pod. But I don't ever remember saying I hate David Moyes.
Oh, it's been clear you hate the guy.
No,
You don't
hold
have
on.
to
Oh,
say
I'm
it.
all Moyes
Actions
out.
speak louder than words, Thomas. I
I'm
think.
all Moyes out. I
Mm.
need somebody in there. I've never denied anything that he's done. I 100% think that he's taken this team as far as it can go with under his leadership.
Okay, but no,
That's
no,
all
you
I'm
d-
saying.
you
How
didn't
how
answer
much
the
farther
question,
can you go than beating a team that's 38
Yeah.
games unbeaten? Like who else is going to take you further than that? Is what I'm saying. If they beat, like they haven't done it yet, right? But let's say they do beat Leverkusen. How can you say that's some? I mean, literally, that's for any manager in the world. And you could say Zinedine Zidane was in there, or Pep Guardiola was in there. You'd say this they've taken them as far as they could possibly take them. I don't know, Thomas. Defend yourself, man.
I guess let's just wait. Let's just wait.
Let's just wait and see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
All
'cause-
right. Well, that's the end of West Ham in the Europa League.
Welcome to the
Mo-
Champions League.
Moving
big boy.
on. Moving
Wait,
on.
doesn't that mean I'm right?
No, because you guys are meant to lose. You guys are meant to lose against
How?
Leverkusen because Leverkusen's, like you said, is probably the best team in the world right now. To the way that they've been playing. I mean, you can't deny the fact that.
But they're in
30
Europa League.
Yeah, but
Champions
because
League
of
is the league, right?
no, I know, but that would be next year though. You can't judge them based off of what happened before.
If he's not there anymore,
Alonso.
but if he's not there,
No, but I'm saying they're only in the Europa League right now because he wasn't there last year. Like, so he's gonna
he got
get them.
into it last year.
He's
Yeah,
gonna
he was there last year.
he-
But he got him from relegation battle too.
right. But what I'm
Two
saying
goals.
is that you're really seeing the effects
The
of
product.
in next year when they win the league and then when they make it to the
And
championship.
if he's not there next year, when they do that, or when they fall out early, are we gonna say, well, I guess what he did was
Wait.
unsuccessful?
Oh my God! Wait.
You're gonna say the same thing about what I've just done?
Oh my God! It just clicked in my head.
What just clicked, Georgie?
West Ham, Leverkusen. West Ham were in the
Shut
relegation battle.
Uh,
Who took over? Moyes. What did he do? Take them to Europe. What did he do? Did he win last year?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. What did Xabi Alonso do at Bayer Leverkusen? He took them from relegation battle to Europa League, potentially win it this year. So you're saying, so if we didn't
I
put those
see what's
names,
going on here.
if we didn't put names on these two managers, and we just put them side by side, and I said, would you take that guy? You would say, no, I want him sacked.
this isn't fair. Get the camera off me. I'm going home.
Turn the
No,
cameras
I would
off.
still
Turn the
say
cameras
the same
off.
thing. If there were no names on him, it depends. I want to see more about it because the things that I don't like about David Moyes has nothing to do with Xavi, right? Like
Well,
what I'm saying about David Moyes is he's very static. He's not dynamic. He doesn't change. He doesn't adapt to anything. He doesn't see what the issue is. Sees that he needs to put an attacking player on, and then all of a sudden put Ben Johnson in for our striker.
you hate
You know, Xavi Alonso would do that.
Guy
He would
just
see what
randomly
needs to
bringing up Ben
happen.
Johnson.
Like I said, it's one of the most fluent teams in football right now. He would put it on. He would put the right people on to fix the problem, and move forward. Whether he needed another striker because they needed to sustain a lead, or if they needed to go get a lead.
Okay, so in the end of the day, it comes to style rather than results.
100%.
Okay.
All right.
If that's
Fair enough. We're not going to change his mind, Georgie. So
No,
let's
leave
give
me
up
alone.
on that. All right. Another team in the Premier League, though, Nottingham Forest docked 4 points for financial fair play, a breach of financial fair play rules. Everton got, so at the end of the day, Everton got docked 6 points, correct? Because they got docked 10 and they took away 4 or whatever, so now they're at 6. Either way, Nottingham Forest gets docked 4 points, so less points than Everton. However, the amount of money that they were in the negatives or whatever was actually more than Everton. But the video that we saw, their reasoning for them being docked less points is that they were completely, what was the word that
cooperating.
they're completely cooperative
Yeah.
in this whole investigation. So they got docked less, which, to be fair, kind of makes sense because like if you go to trial and you plead guilty, you get way less sentence than if you plead not guilty and then you get found guilty. However, I thought Everton
Did the same
cooperated the exact same amount.
Yeah. No, it's a joke at this
But
point. So I don't know.
didn't Everton? Yeah, that's weird because
I
essentially they docked them 10 points for cooperating,
yeah.
and then they appealed it, and then
Well,
they got.
well, that was the argument we had, right? We were saying, how come Everton, again, bringing the city frauds into this, how are they still going on while Everton got deducted points? And it was because we said it was because Everton are being, and essentially they're being good. So now they're getting screwed over by cooperating with the Premier League and working alongside with them, while City is fighting against the Premier League and giving lawyers the money and all that stuff to like keep fighting to prolong the process. And Everton are doing the right thing, going with what the Premier League is saying to do and trying to get to the bottom of it. And like we said, they played guilty and said, look, we did it. However, we're here to help. And it was 10 points. And then the panel, whoever the third party came out of nowhere, like a few weeks later, took away or gave them back 4 points. No,
4 points.
4 points. So in the end, like you said, it was 6 points. And now Forest, somehow with more money, worse situation, getting less deducted. I don't know, it's just a mess, to be honest.
Seems like there's some corruption going on here. The part that I don't understand is if they're going to dock points for financial fair play rules, which I think they should, because obviously that's the whole, they have to keep the balance somehow. They need to find some sort of a standard to know exactly how many points you're going to get docked. Because the problem is these teams break these rules and then they just throw a random number out like it's like they just made it up completely. So like you need to know, okay, let's say if you are $10 to $20 million in the red zone or whatever, you're going to get docked 1 point for every $10 million that you're, so that way you know how much money that you're, so that way you have an idea of, okay, shit, if we don't get our stuff together, we're going to get docked 3 or 4 points. But right now they're just kind of throwing it out. And I would be upset if I was Everton because, or not Everton, if I was Nottingham Forest, because how the hell does that make any sense? Or no, sorry.
Yeah, if you're Everton, you'd be upset.
Yeah, if I was Everton, I'd be upset. How the hell does that make any sense?
I almost feel like they know, right? Like it has to be something. There has to be some way of knowing like what the financial fair play rules and regulations are, whatever it might be. Like maybe us
the
as
clubs.
Yeah,
The clubs know.
that's what I'm saying. So
they
it's
know
like,
what the rules are, but not what the
But, like,
deductions for points is going to be.
perhaps I don't know. I can't speak on it because I don't know. Like I think that it should be brought to light to the public so somebody can hold them accountable, whatever the governing body is, because of the people like Chelsea and City and stuff like that we're still waiting for their trial. Why did Nottingham and Everton get deducted so quickly when, I mean, they've threatened West Ham? Why are like I bet will come to light and be deducted from before we even see a City or a Chelsea trial. Chelsea be in the fourth league before we see a Chelsea trial. Like
I also don't like, but I also don't like the fact that they're doing this like mid-season. And they're doing it mid-season for seasons past. So it's kind of confusing because I would be very upset if I was a team like Luton, who's like in the relegation battle, but you don't really know which place you're in because those places keep swapping because Everton gets deducted, then Nottingham Forest gets deducted, and now you're like, okay, you're planning for your season, and it's not your fault that they're committing all these breaches or whatever.
mm-hmm.
But it screws you because can you imagine if you were doing just enough to get above the relegation zone, and then all of a sudden it's like all these things are flipping around. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You need to have some sort of clarity if you're a team that's at the bottom of the relegation battle to know where you're at, where you're
I
standing.
think that if you've breached anything as far as financials or anything that they can do as far as deducting points, you should just be entered into relegation zone.
Damn.
Too easy.
I say
Fix the problem.
bottom 5 teams now. Boom, go down.
Bottom
Bring the
5. I like that.
Bring the top 5 teams up from
I
the
like that.
championship. You know what? Bring the 3 teams from the championship up. Bring the top team from League 1. Top team from League 2. Boom.
And Wrexham
Straight
United.
into the Premier League.
And Wrexham United.
Because none of those teams are just going to go straight back down.
All right, but we'll see what happens because I guarantee before the season is over, Nottingham Forest will not have the 4 points docked. They'll have 6. They'll have 2. They'll have a different number because they're going to appeal it. Because now they're getting very close to the relegation battle. So I think they're
2
going to appeal.
points
I
off
think
or
what
something?
I mean in all those situations, why wouldn't you appeal? Right? What could hurt?
I mean, it gets worse, possibly.
Maybe.
Or it doesn't. You look at City.
Well, City's different because they're literally they have billions to spend. So they're just fighting the lawyers for no reason. However, I'm going to say this, though, because it's one thing to get deducted, but there's 8 games left in the Premier League. If you're Forest, I'll be you'd be pretty upset because you're doing it now. Like, if it's one thing to say, okay, Forest, you're deducted 4 points starting next year.
Right.
Or like in the beginning of the season. But, you're already struggling. Yes, you broke the rules. That's completely fair. You have to get punished. But you have to be punished in a timely manner of, can you imagine 3 games to go and they're like, oh, Forest, you deducted 4 points. Now they're literally in the relegation battle. It's that's not really fair when, again, City are winning titles with 1 point. That makes a huge difference.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So it's not fair for Everton and Nottingham Forest, right? Because they're getting docked and then they have to know, okay, we're above the relegation zone, and then all of a sudden they get docked, and then it's like, crap, now we're in the relegation battle. But it's also not fair for Luton as well, because when they do these appeals, so Luton was like, when Everton got docked those original points, Luton's like, oh, fantastic, that helps us out. But then then Everton appeals, and then they get less points deducted, and now Luton's right back in the relegation battle. So it's not fair for any of those teams.
Luton could also just start winning.
To be fair, they're so close, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're so close, and against good teams too. It's not even just against the bad teams, but Man City, Arsenal, some of these top teams, and they can't get results. But I would like to see Luton stay up.
Me too.
I
Give them a little bit more money to fix the apartment complex.
Hell yeah! Imagine if you owned one of those housing units
That'd be
around
so
there.
sick. That'd be so sick.
I might just go live there.
Anyways, let's move on to the VAR room segment. Couple of things happening. The VAR room segment, if you haven't followed along with us, is just stuff that's been going on around that we missed. The head coach of Sunderland, Michael Beale, sacked after 63 days in charge because he was using a burner account to defend himself on social media. Thomas, your thoughts? Because I'm sure you have some experience with this as well.
I'm Sunderland till I die. No, but it's hilarious.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
I mean, you see it. I don't think it was real. I don't think it was actually him.
You don't think so?
No, I think as soon as you get to the point where you're not being sneaky about it at all, it's it's humor. It's funny.
The thing is, people forget that nowadays everything on the internet can be traced back to its starting days, back to its starting point. Not only that, nothing can be hidden from the internet. There's people out there who maybe not officially professionally can make investigations and make things happen, but there's kids who are 12, 13 years old on the internet who can find anything that that they want to find.
Or create it.
Where are
Yeah.
those
With
people?
AI and everything.
Where are those people? I need to find something. but back to that. I don't really understand what. Look, I get it. The guy, it's not that he's not breaking any laws. In a way, he has a burner account that backs himself.
Yeah, but he did in one of the tweets that he posted, he did say some shit about the front office.
So
Oh.
what?
He
Maybe
posted he said can't believe the people upstairs want him gone after this, whatever. They have no idea what's going on or something like that. So he did actually say bad things about.
If you can't do
The-
it with
the
an
owners.
alias, how are you gonna do it? Everybody deserves the right to vent.
Yeah, but you can't go online and make yourself look better and defend yourself and like
Is it because of the name of the account? Is that what really like solidifies that it was a bad thing to do? Because like, what if it was, I don't know, what if it was me? What if it was my account and somebody made my like the name of my or an account with my username, and then said the exact same thing?
well,
like-
no, but it was just the fact that it was him that they found
What
out
if
it was him.
what if it was him that created an account with my username, and then said the exact same thing? Nobody's gonna look at it.
I'm confused.
Nobody's gonna look at it, so they're not gonna trace it back to him to find out who said it.
I don't know.
I think it's fake.
You
No,
don't.
no. So what happened was this is that this guy used an account called that it was like named like player ID or something like that, right? That was the username was like player ID, and he was using that account on a lot of the social media pages to defend himself, basically against all the shit talking that was going on. Well, they traced that, so you can see when that account was created. Like in the bio, it says like account was created in blah blah 2017. So they went back apparently, and in 2017, one of the first tweets posted or the bio that was on there at 2017 in 2017 said, Michael Beal or whatever using player ID. This is something with relating, saying that he was the one that created this player ID.
Sure.
So then that's how they figured out that it was him. And I don't know all the details. So I just know that they sacked him after 63 days because they assumed it was him. He must have admitted though, because think about it. If you bring him in, you're gonna question him, right? You're not just gonna bring him in and say, "Hey, we found your burner account. You're fired." You're gonna question him. You're gonna bring him in and you're gonna be like, "Hey, we noticed this. This is the proof that we have. What do you have to say?"
What was the reasoning they wanted him fired, anyways? Like prior to finding this out,
I don't think they wanted him fired. I
why
think.
would he say that on the tweet? Because isn't that what you said the tweet said?
Yeah, but I mean, you can find people shit talking anyone, regardless of how they're doing, right? You can find people right now on the internet shit talking Klopp or Guardiola or
What
whatever.
I'm asking is why did he tweet? I can't believe the people in the front office want me out of here after this.
Right. So there must have been something.
That's what
right?
I'm wondering,
There must have
yeah.
been something. I don't know if it was at the point where he thought he was going to get sacked for real, or he was just trying to prevent it from getting to that point.
They're not even doing that bad, are they?
But I don't know.
All I know is I have at least 7 burner accounts. So if somebody talking
Georgie's
bad
been doing this.
about the podcast, it's not me. Don't trace
You
me.
can probably. I'll tell you what though. You can do a good job of hiding some of the stuff, but it does get brought to light because people cannot just go. People don't just go and like look at your Twitter or your Facebook or whatever. There's like professional cybersecurity people. We know one of them, right? So he's explained it to me. You can go essentially into the coding of the website to see who's edited what parts of that website. So like Wikipedia, for example, Wikipedia is a website that gets edited by users, not necessarily by the people who run Wikipedia. So you can go on Wikipedia and you can change things to people's profiles. When you do that, it creates a code so that when you go into the actual, like, if you ever see code, it's like a huge long paragraph or whatever.
MySpace.
Yeah, exactly. Like the MySpace days. It'll say like September 17th, user at Javi Bautista, edited, blah, 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 blah. So you can see who's made changes to certain things. So that's how these people get these people, because they essentially, you have to have an account. And a lot of people mess up and they use their personal accounts. Or, yeah, it gets complicated, but.
Rookies.
I know, right? Listen, if there's anybody out there who can do this type of a job, please get in touch with us. I have some work for you. So.
Georgie's looking for yeah, I'm not even gonna get into it, but Georgie needs a hacker. All right.
He needs a PI is what he needs.
All right. The next one, which is an interesting one, is Jude Bellingham, Camavinga, Tchouaméni, and Vinicius Jr. are all on very close to the yellow card accumulation rule in the Champions League. So right now they're going to play the first game in Madrid against Manchester City. If any of them gets a yellow card in this game, they have to sit out for the away leg of the tie against Manchester City, which technically means all 4 of those guys could be missing at the Etihad in the away game.
Camavinga, Jude Bellingham,
Chouameni and
Vinny.
Vinny.
Okay.
So
I think
Georgie,
Jude's the only one that doesn't get carted off. I think he wants to go to England.
yeah, maybe.
Go see the grandma or
But
something.
it is also first of all, you can slightly control it because don't go in for tackles. Don't be dumb. Don't do anything stupid that's going to get you a yellow card. But what are you going to be telling your players if you're Pep Guardiola?
Oh, you go right at them, make them mad.
Just talk to
upset
them.
Talk to them. Especially Vinny. Like they're
Untie their shoes.
Vinny is an emotional player, so get under his skin. The other guys, they love a side tackle, so they're gonna be tackling. Chouameni especially, that guy's always on the ground, so it's very tough. Like you can tell a player, don't do this. Like try not to get a yellow, but once you're in the Champions League quarterfinal against probably one of the best teams in the world, which is an amazing game. Everybody's gonna be watching that specific game. There's no way anybody's backing away from a challenge or pushing, shoving, or anything like that. So I'm gonna say 2 out of the 4 miss out.
Also, it's like once you get into the moment, you think you're thinking about it. If your coach reminded you or whatever it is, but then you go into the game and it's like, well, I can get 1 yellow card without getting kicked out of the game. Like it switches back to like what you've been raised as. I get 2 yellows or whatever it is. So it's like as a default, you're always expecting to get 1 yellow, right? You don't.
Yeah, but there's no room for that in this game for those guys.
That's what
right?
I'm saying. So I think the switch off, like unless they're like the smartest player out there, like they're not thinking about that. They're thinking about like, oh, I can afford 1 yellow card, every time.
I think Pep is also going to say we can sacrifice a couple of yellow cards just to get one of them a yellow card. So he's going to tell, I don't know, a few different players, it's okay for you to go and tackle him, and then you tackle him right after because at some point he's going to break. And then as long as he gets 1 yellow, even if 3 of our guys get 1 yellow,
I like that.
That's more than enough to make sure one of these guys is out. And he's going to target Bellingham first.
You think?
And Vinicius. Those are going to be the
that
two.
Would make sense
those are going to be the 2 most important guys that he's going to, because even Camavinga and Chouameni aren't like absolute starters for Real Madrid. They come in and they come out. Some depending on the game,
Plus
they'll start.
Those are gonna get a yellow card without Pep targeting.
Yeah, so I think for Pep, he's gonna say most important is gonna be Jude Bellingham because he's a game changer and he's gonna do things to Manchester City that none of the other guys can do, and Vinicius because he's always going to be a threat, especially on the counterattack. Can you imagine just taking Vinicius out as a counterattack threat? Like that makes a big difference for Manchester City.
All I know is I'm going to speak from experience because I had
Georgie
yellow
did
card
this in the
accumulation,
summer last year.
and Javi told me not to get a yellow. And what did I do? I didn't get a yellow.
He got a fucking yellow, man. Listen, here's the thing, and I get it because I haven't played in a while. Like I haven't been on the field in a while. And the more removed you are from the field, the more you forget how easy things can happen. Georgie was on a yellow card accumulation, so if he got a yellow, he wasn't going to be able to play the last game of the season. And knowing Georgie, I knew that there was not really much I can do. Like, I can tell him, and Georgie's a smart enough guy to understand. He knows the consequences. I don't have to tell him what the consequences are. I don't have to be like, hey, Georgie, if you get it. Like, he knew what was going on. I think I just told you. I was like, dude, just don't get a yellow. Just don't be an idiot. Don't get a yellow. What does Georgie do? Thomas, tell me what he does.
Hey, ref.
He slide tackles.
No. Okay, first of all,
slide tackles.
First of all, I slide tackle. The guy does the Maradona, so I don't touch him. He kicks my face and falls. Even the guy got up and said, ref, he didn't touch me. I kicked him.
But the guy's not the referee, so that's the part that doesn't matter.
I know, but the ref pulled out the yellow thinking I kicked him. I didn't kick him, but he said my card is already by my hand. I can't take it away. So he had to give it to me.
You absolutely could. Also, was this the game at Liggett?
Yeah.
So I think I was right there by on the track.
But it didn't even matter because I tore my hamstring that game anyway, so I would have played.
But that's the thing, though. It's like you cannot leave it in the referee's hands.
Yeah.
So like that's what Ancelotti's going to tell all these guys is like it doesn't matter if it was a yellow or not. It matters whether the referee's going to give it to you. So like Chouameni and Camavinga, it's like you don't slide tackle unless you really need to. Unless you're stopping up like a counterattack that they're going to score on us. Don't slide tackle because even if you manage to get the ball, a yellow card is not reviewable by VAR. So if the referee messes it up, you're stuck with it.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to be smart because that's gonna have some massive implications for them in the game at Manchester City.
2 out of 4. Out.
2 out of 4 says Georgie.
I say
Thomas,
3. I think
Three.
3. I think that Jude is the only one that doesn't.
Damn.
interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 0 out of 4.
Really?
Oh,
I'm gonna say they're gonna be able to hold off. I think one. So first of all, one of those 3 is not starting.
Oh.
I think one of those 3 is not gonna start. I don't know who.
Yeah, it depends.
I think Bellingham, if he's healthy, is gonna start. Vinicius, if he's healthy, is gonna start. I think Tchouaméni and Camavinga. I think he might bench one of them, knowing knowing the situation. So I think right away only 2 or 3 players are gonna start, and then I think he's gonna be smart enough to. They're gonna all be smart enough to know how important an away game is at the Etihad. That they're gonna have to not just get a good result, but make sure that they're in their best with their best players going to City.
By the way, this is after Jude is coming back after 2-game suspension for
Oh, yeah.
getting a red card after the game because of the referee bringing the goal back.
Yeah, but he absolutely cannot do anything like that in this game. It's gonna be more about the slide tackles and those
Yeah.
kinds of things, tactical fouls that they're gonna.
I bet the first game's going to be 0-0.
Oh, no chance.
0-0. 3 yellows. At least 3 yellows. Those 3.
No, I don't see it being a 0-0.
Let me get my book because we're in the fun facts section now. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Or?
Yeah, here's a fun fact. VAR, the longest reviewed VAR
Incident.
incident happened this weekend.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
5 minutes and 37 seconds.
It was
It
the
was
West
us,
Ham game,
yeah.
right? The handball.
And then it was overturned for
How long was it?
inconclusive.
How long was it?
5 minutes, 37 seconds.
Damn.
It was inconclusive.
Dude,
There was nothing
yeah.
that was conclusive, which is what they actually said. And they overturned the call. How's that work?
I was at Thomas McGee's waiting for the Liverpool game versus
Mhm.
Man United. I mean that never happened, but I was watching as West Ham scored, the camera was behind the post,
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know, 10,
You can't
15
see it.
yards
You can't
away.
see anything.
You couldn't see anything. All you see is like the players going at it, but you couldn't see anybody doing anything. So pretty much what happened was the West Ham scored. They went crazy celebrating, obviously last second, and then all of a sudden, they went to VAR to make sure he didn't hit the guy's hand, and the camera they're looking at it was right behind the post, so like at an angle to where the post is covering everything you can see about anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't
You'd
know.
have to assume in order to
Yeah.
believe that it was something like a handball. There
Yeah.
was nothing that was black and white about it.
No.
And that's what VAR is for.
Yeah.
And like I'm not arguing. I think it was a handball.
Yeah.
You couldn't see it. And just like the goal that we took earlier in the season where Jared Bowen was out of bounds, his body was out of bounds, but he was covering the ball, the camera's
Yeah.
vision
Right.
to the ball,
Yeah.
hit it back inwards into the mess. We got a goal, and they gave it to us because you couldn't see whether or not the ball was out of bounds. They had
Yeah.
to give us the goal.
It's just inconsistent of their
Right.
rulings and
How,
stuff like
how
that.
fun of a fact is that? So I'm
Interesting.
not happy about it.
Interesting.
Well, you got
Alright.
the benefit of the first one, so
The first one, I think the Antonio one's unexplainable. Where else did you put your arm?
no, I'm talking about the Bowen.
Oh, the Bowen one.
Yeah,
But there was 2 in this game that were
Yeah.
given to us and then inconclusive and taken away from us. 2 of them.
Interesting. All right. I have
Crazy.
a fun fact because we were talking about cards and
Pokemon.
we were talking about potential yellows, reds. I couldn't find any evidence to prove that this is not correct or that there is another incident in which there was more. But the most players sent off in a match. How many? Let me just add how many, because you're never going to guess where and what teams and all that. But I'll tell you all of that after you try and guess how many the maximum number of players, the most players ever sent off in one match.
Did they finish the match?
I don't know.
Because you can only have 8 taken off.
No,
What? 7 because you can only play with 7 legally, right?
you got to think outside the box.
Come on, Thomas.
Is this? Oh, see, first segment. What's up?
The bench,
The bench.
they can get sent off.
But they weren't sent. Yeah, but they weren't on the field.
Yeah, but they,
But
can
what
still,
was
get
your
sent off.
question?
They can still get sent off.
Yeah.
The most number of
In a
sorry,
match.
the most number of people sent off.
Yeah.
If that helps.
Too easy. Okay.
I'm gonna say 12.
12. So 12 people in one match sent off.
Yeah.
Thomas,
Do people in the stadium count?
No.
you can't send off fans. I mean, you can
No.
you can eject fans.
them?
It's only the
It's only players. Or
players, coaches,
Oh,
bench,
okay.
roster, anybody
15.
who's officially on the
Yeah, I'm
team.
gonna go with 23.
23 for Thomas.
I went to 15 because coaches I didn't. think
Georgia
about
said
it.
15. That's a lot of players.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
you
that's a
didn't
lot
say
of
just
that's a lot
Yeah,
of
like staff.
staff
Yeah.
/ players. That's a lot.
Yeah.
How do you even keep track of that many people?
At that point, I would just.
The referee's just guessing.
Yeah, honestly,
I mean,
because
you must
there's
have
only
been
three
you
referees.
must
There's
have
only
been
4
involved.
referees. So
wait,
how are
I
you
gave you a red card already. Wait, you go. I'll give you a red card. Yes.
all right. Do you want to know? Neither of you were close, by the way.
What?
75.
All right, let's chill out there.
Probably like 30 something.
36 people
23 is pretty close to 36.
in a 5th division match in Argentina. Referee Damian Rubino sent off 36 people, including all the players, subs, and coaches.
All the players, subs, and coaches, and kept 7 and 7 on the field.
Well, no, I'm sure the game ended.
Yeah.
I'm sure the game was called off after, but he essentially showed a red card
but
to
why?
36 different people. Must have been a fight.
But just call the game. Just like cancel the game. That's it. Why you have to give out a record to every single person?
think he was handing
we
them out
haven't
like
seen
that.
it. We haven't seen it.
I don't think
anywhere
he
else.
was handing them out like that. I think
Yeah.
afterwards he just went to his little booklet and said, "Fuck this." You know?
Yeah, he must. He probably just said everyone here gets a red card.
Yeah.
That's insane.
In
What-
which case, I mean, so listen, it's 5th division, so there's probably not too many cameras that they go back and review the footage or anything like that, because 5th division is essentially amateur, almost, right?
Let's
so
get the ref on the podcast. Let's see what he has to say about it. He'll probably come.
can you imagine? Can you imagine if the ref actually showed each one a red card like this, just went around in a circle?
That would be funny as hell. But
Um,
I mean, speaking about something like that, in Turkey over the weekend, the big ass brawl with the fans coming on the field and fighting the players and all that. Did you
Oh
see it?
yeah,
Yeah.
so I saw the pictures.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
just
crazy.
That's crazy.
What player was that? I don't know who it was, but he was like destroying this fan on the ground.
Yeah, but did you see the videos or did you see the pictures?
I saw both. I saw the videos are crazy.
The videos is he actually like punching him and stuff?
Yeah, he's punching.
I
him.
thought they might have just been a really well timed picture of him just punching him once or something, and it looks like he's just beating his ass.
It was like everyone everywhere were just like
That's crazy, man.
And there's like a bunch of like, I don't know, they're gonna make it into like a tifu whatever, like for the
Yeah. Tifo.
but it was like fight like your fans fight for you or something like that.
Oh, Jesus.
That's crazy, man.
The thing about when that happens is the players always get sent off when they fight like a fan or something
Yeah.
like that. At which point are players allowed to defend themselves? Like the ultras came onto the field,
Yeah.
and you see a picture of one of the ultras like squaring up,
Mhm.
like let's go, and then the guy clearly beats his ass. Do you punish the player?
No, you're defending yourself. What are you going to do? You're on the field. This is literally
This
what you get paid for. So if somebody comes on the field and starts like wants to fight you, let's say you start walking away and the guy hits you, and then you respond and you fight back. What are you supposed to do? Let the guy keep punching you?
Yeah.
That's why they call them invaders, right? They don't belong there.
Yeah.
The moment somebody steps into your house and you're not defending it by
Right,
any
right.
means, it's like I don't think that a player should be punished. If it was excessive, I absolutely think so. But if the invader got past the security, it's now up to the player to defend themselves. No crime, no foul, whatever.
I agree with that. I don't know. Typically, that rarely ever happens, or it's just a fan who's like egging on one of the players until the players lose their heads and then go and punch him or something like that. In which case, they do get a red card or whatever. But I don't know what happens in those situations where you actually have to defend yourself and
Well, like
you get in trouble. Because I think it'd be bullshit if you get in trouble for that.
have you seen the Malice at the Palace?
Yeah, love that.
At Piston Spacers back in the day.
Oh no, I haven't seen that.
Like
they're-
03 or something?
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, so bunch of the players got suspended. Like Jermaine O'Neal got like 30 games or whatever it was. I don't remember. But the difference there is, they went into the stands because somebody threw something and like kept talking. They
Yeah, it
wanted
was
to fight.
antagonizing and shit.
Yeah, and that's a bit different. Like if I was a player, let's say I'm playing, and somebody kicks me, and I run into the stands and I chase after him, and then I go do it. That's different because now you're going into
Yeah.
that. But if you're just on the field and you're trying to play your game or whatever, and somebody like comes and fights you, then you should be able to defend yourself because you're not. It's not like you went looking for it. You're like literally where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So
Fair enough. All right. You guys got anything else?
No, but I want to call Georgie out really quick
Ooh,
because
let's go.
he only threw one punch.
The which
yeah,
one?
the player. I'm looking at it right now. The video.
Fake news.
Fake news.
It's not. I
Fake
watched the
news.
video.
No. There was a sweet roundhouse kick to the like somebody's chest in one of these, but it wasn't
Are
even
you
the
watching
same
the
guy.
video though?
Yeah,
That which? Let me see.
he hits him one time and like 4 people pull him off.
Which let me see the video. Is it the same? guy?
We'll see it
Oh
later.
no. There's another one.
Roundhouse
Oh
kick.
my
though.
God,
Yeah,
Javi, did you see that one?
that's probably my favorite part.
Which one? Let me see.
Same game.
Yeah, so he throws the one punch and then they pull him off.
Yeah, and then there's
The karate kick.
because then it's the next one right here.
Can you imagine you get a pull the karate
Oh,
kick?
dang.
Go on.
But no, that
Soccer players do get in more trouble because when you use because they use their feet for a living, they can essentially I've heard about it before, they can get in trouble for it would
From
be
the
called
club.
assault. No, but the charge would be considered assault with a deadly weapon.
what?
Only if it's been deemed a deadly weapon.
Exactly, but because you're a professional soccer player, it's technically considered.
I thought you were
deadly
saying
weapon.
the club could get them in trouble for
No.
using
I'm
their-
saying if a soccer player beats somebody, right, and kicks them repeatedly, that's like if a UFC fighter beats someone because they have expertise in that area with
that makes sense to me.
it's like a UFC fighter's assault with a deadly weapon because they literally have deadly
Yeah.
weapons in their hands.
That's
I
interesting.
probably made that up, to be honest.
I think
but
so.
I'm pretty sure that
think so.
I've heard that before
I
somewhere.
think
Speaking
they
of
have
that,
I think
though-
they'd be certified as deadly.
Speaking of that, UFC. One, the Conor McGregor movie's coming out next weekend, or this weekend.
This
actually.
weekend, I think.
you'll
Yeah,
see
this
us-
weekend. It's tomorrow. I think,
And-
actually.
Enjoy watching it.
And Conor McGregor announced he's coming back to fight this summer.
Yeah, but Conor McGregor's announced that he's been.
He's gonna
He
fight.
just says it keeps getting pushed back.
But there's
even
a
said
date now, isn't it? Like Michael. him and Michael
But he
Chandler.
said that originally they told him this day, and then it got pushed back and all this. And he even said that he's loses motivation because he's training really hard, and then he gets pushed back, and then he's like, I stop training, I start drinking, and then I have to kind of go through it again. So maybe there is finally a date. So I hope it is. I hope it
Yeah.
is true.
I'll see my goat.
Conor McGregor.
I was his #1 fan before anybody knew about him.
No, I was too, and I'll tell you what.
Yeah, me too.
When when Conor McGregor was coming up, before he beat Jose Aldo, when he was just 2 or 3 fights, he was getting a lot of popularity because of his shit talking. It was my brother's birthday, and I had $150 in my bank account. I was a college kid, so not much has changed. But I was thinking, I was like, what am I gonna get my brother? And me and my brother really liked Conor. And I was going to get him on Amazon or somewhere you could find signed gloves from Conor McGregor for $100. I don't know how much they're worth now.
Did you get him?
I did.
So now they're worth.
But no, hold on. So I did. I put the order in. But then I was like, damn, I only have $20, $30 in my bank account left. So I canceled the order on Amazon.
Oh my
I canceled the
God.
order and I got my brother something else that was cheaper. And then he had the career that he had. I don't know if the thing is with autograph stuff is that it's not worth a lot unless they don't autograph a lot of stuff. So because there's a lot of
Sure.
people that just autograph everything.
Unless
So
it's legit autograph, though, because you can be like the ones I gave you. That's not
Yeah,
legit.
but even still, they have
It loses value.
it loses value. So there's certain people, certain famous athletes that never autographed anything or very little actual memorabilia. So if you have something with their authentic autograph, that's worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
But if it's just somebody who's, because they sign all those posters at you've seen them sign all those posters at the media day or whatever, so it loses its value a lot. So I wonder if those gloves they weren't used gloves by him, so that probably would have been worth much more. But just the fact of me having bought them for my brother when he was on the come up and now the career that he's had would have been cool.
Yeah. What a guy.
Sorry,
Conor
Boozer.
McGregor. If you ever want to come on the podcast, Conor, you're more than welcome to, obviously. I mean, we'll DM later. Don't worry. It's all good. I'll
Talk
keep you updated.
All right. You guys got anything else then? No? Fantastic. We'll see if this whole setup works. I got to get better at the switching because I was a little slow. I think I did a pretty good job. But you know what the problem was? It's hard to focus because I'm trying to think about who needs to be on the thing and I'm
That's
trying
me.
to talk
I
at
need
the
to be
same
on it.
time.
Oh, nice.
No, but that's why we should do this for someone who, if Joe is hosting, then I can do this a little bit easier. But
Yeah.
I'm also trying to move through the topics while at the same time making sure that the camera's on the right person. So I'm talking, but at the same time, I'm not fully thinking about what I'm saying because I'm thinking about the buttons.
All right. So for those of you listening, we are looking for a button presser.
An official button presser to sit behind the scenes and just go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2,
In
3.
a year or two, Roro, man. Boom.
I know. I'll give him some money for that. Some
You
candy.
should just buy him a pair of gloves.
All right. With that being said, please make sure you guys all follow us on the social media channels: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. What else? Twitter. At the NGW
Everything.
Podcast. Thomas, you're supposed to be pointing everywhere in every random direction right now, as if we were
I
posting it
forgot
on the screen.
Well, you keep saying Thomas and not Joe.
All right. Appreciate you all following along, and we will catch you in the next one.